Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Ross and Wizzy's Fan Fiction Power Hour. I'm your host, Ross Pitt Shark Hunter. With me here, as always, is Wizzy Puff.
As always?
As always. You're always with me, Wizzy.
There was that last time that we were recording Sunlight Sliders that I wasn't here.
No, you were here.
Oh, wait, no, I was here. You weren't here.
Well, okay, but that was technically still me because it was cool, Ross. But yeah.
Okay, close enough.
Speaking of, we're gonna be reading more Sunlight Sliders today, everybody. I can't wait. Can you wait?
They probably can wait.
Oh, okay. All right.
They
Well,
waited
we'll
this
give you a
long.
few minutes. In fact, those few minutes I'll be spending looking up how long ago the last one was. This one's two. Was that one? There we go. The last one we read of Sunlight Sliders was August 17th, 2021. Shut the fuck up! Yeah, the last episode of Sunlight Sliders was in August 17th, 2021. So it's been a while since we read this story.
Oh, man.
But don't worry, we're going to catch you up a bit. So, Twilight and Sunset Shimmer, the best character, by the way, have been on this journey through multiverses. If you have seen the recent influx of multiverse movies, I guess just in general, then you'd probably understand this whole wacky nonsense that they're going through. Last time, Twilight and Sunset ended up on a beach, and then they went to a studio where they were recording My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And their names in that universe were Tara and Rebecca, and then they almost kissed, but they didn't. And then...
Boo.
I agree. And then they went to a universe where everybody had switched personalities. Although I think they should have stuck with my idea, which was just have everybody in their G3 personalities. And, yeah, then, like, Twilight punched Twilight or something? No, Sunset punched Twilight, but mean Twilight, who was a bully in the universe. Or something. No. Trixie. She punched Trixie or something. That's what happened. To get Trixie off of Twilight. Okay, yeah, I figured it out. And if you're wondering, hey, Ross, how do you know all that? You weren't here when the last episode was recorded. That was by Cool Ross. Hey guys, we record a podcast. I listen back to the recordings. Sometimes.
It works canonically.
All right, so yeah. That's what happened back then. Today we're going to be reading... actually, we haven't decided how many chapters we're reading. Probably going to be like 3 or 4. So yeah, I can't wait. And yeah, that's been enough of a... Wow, 5 minutes. It's a long recording before we started. All right. Are you ready, Wizzy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then, Sunlight Sliders Chapter 10, Oroboro, who also wrote another fan fiction called Let Me Complain, Dear, which we read during our Pride Month special.
Yo, I thought I recognized that name.
Yep, you recognize that name.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a really good one. Y'all should go check that out. It's great.
It made me actually like the ship of Applejack and Rarity.
Rarajack, as we in the fandom call them.
Is that the actual name?
Yep.
Yeah. Not entirely creative, but I'll live with it.
No, like, you'll notice that none of the ship names in, well, I guess most fandoms, but especially My Little Pony, none of them are particularly creative. Especially compared to something like the Ruby fandom.
Yeah. Those are my favorite ship names, I'll be honest.
Mine too. Those are some great ship names. All right, so we should really start reading.
Yep.
Get going, Wizzy.
Sunset caught herself, her fingers scraping against dirt and gravel.
Human again.
A blast of hot air washed over her. Filled with soot and dust and the overwhelming stench of smoke, Twilight sounded off by launching into a coughing and sneezing fit.
Careful.
Sunset couldn't help but smile as she helped Twilight to her feet.
I want to recalibrate for a smoother landing. This is starting to get obnoxious.
Twilight cleared her throat one more time and wiped at her nose.
So, where are we this time?
Sunset finally took a good look at their surroundings, a quiet suburb, or at least what was left of one. Rubble filled the streets, and only about half of the buildings still stood. Smoke formed a haze in the sky, backlit by the red-orange glow of a roaring fire. Distant booms sounded like thunder, but were almost certainly something far worse. Sunset licked her lips.
Nowhere good.
Twilight nodded.
You're right. This looks dangerous. The smart thing to do would be to sit here, not touch anything, and wait until the portal recharges.
Solid plan.
Sunset took a few idle steps and felt something crunch under her feet. A robotic arm peeked out from beneath some rubble, with bulky mechanical joints and loose wires sticking out of scorched holes.
But what if someone out there is hurt?
They both glanced at each other, holding eye contact until Twilight chuckled.
Can't argue with that. Just be careful.
They made their way forward, staying close and carefully watching every step. No signs of life seemed to stir around them.
There you are, Sunset. About time. I was getting bored.
The voice of Twilight Sparkle called out from behind them. Another Twilight Sparkle, human, pinned under some twisted mass of steel girders.
Hold on.
Sunset rushed over.
I'm sure we can get you out of there somehow. Twilight, go find something that could be used as a pry bar.
The pinned Twilight blinked several times.
Pry bar?
Okay, I wasn't sure which one that was at first.
Probably the pinned Twilight, if I had to guess.
Pry bar? What are you talking about? Just use your magic to...
Her eyes flicked between the pair, and she sighed.
Oh, you're Voyagers. I'm from X37B. Wherever you're from, I could really use an assist right now. There should be a pouch right near that pile of rubble where you're standing, Twilight. It should be a clear vial with metal flakes in it. Bring it to me.
Sunset glanced at Twilight. They both shrugged.
What do you mean by Voyagers?
Sliders, travelers, dimension hoppers, loopers. There's always outliers, but 80% of the other Twilights I've come in contact with have a clear preference for the term Voyagers.
She pursed her lips.
Sunsets are only 73% sure, though.
The pinned Twilight smacked herself in the forehead with her one free hand.
Goddess above, you're both total newbies at this, aren't you? All right. For starters, call me Sparkle. It'll make things easier. Also, hurry up with that vial. This is mildly uncomfortable.
Sorry.
Twilight knelt beside her counterpart and handed her a vial filled with a clear liquid. Metallic flakes floated inside, jostled by the movement.
So that's where we are, then? This is Dimension X whatever?
Sparkle laughed.
Ha ha ha. Of course not.
I'm trying to imitate your voice a bit more since I just heard it.
Of course not. I'm far away from home, just like you two. Very far.
She pulled the cork out with her teeth, then downed the liquid in a single gulp. Almost immediately, her complexion brightened. She grunted, and steel shook around her until the mass of it hurled into the air, as if thrown by an invisible giant. Sparkle stood up, stretching, her bones popping audibly. She seemed older than Twilight, maybe middle-aged, but her face was completely smooth, lacking any wrinkles or imperfections. It gave her a sort of timeless beauty that defied numbers. She wore a hole-ridden lab coat, stained with dark red around the edges. Unblemished skin showed underneath.
Thanks.
Sparkle pulled a pair of unbroken glasses from her pocket and slipped them onto her face.
I get overconfident sometimes. Wasted the last of my power regenerating. Couldn't get the girders off.
She waved a hand, and flashes of light flickered across her glasses.
Alright, so you're both from dimension C45H. Pretty far off the dimensional track.
Sorry. That just spelled out cash in Leet speak.
Does spell cash in Leet speak.
Intentional?
Perhaps.
You can regenerate?
Twilight asked at the same time Sunset asked.
Can you get us home?
Sparkle chuckled.
When all of the multiverse is your plaything, you can pick up a lot of neat tricks. Magic from one world, technology from another.
Her eyes grew distant, and an odd smirk crossed her face.
Let's just say, there's a reason a lot of people think Sunset and I are gods whenever we enter the scene.
Silence hung between them, just long enough to be uncomfortable, before Sparkle coughed.
Anyway, I might be able to help for a price. She didn't say that. I might be able to help. My own portal isn't on me at the moment, and I don't have time to grab it. Let me see yours.
Twilight proffered their talisman, and a purple aura snatched it out of the air. Almost immediately it exploded, separating into several dozen smaller parts.
Whoa.
Hey,
Sunset took a step forward.
what are you?
Sparkle raised a finger. All of the parts spun around in midair, soon joined by parts that floated from Sparkle's bag and out of her pockets. In moments, the device had completely reassembled itself in a whirlwind of engineering.
Here.
She said, tossing it back to Twilight.
That should do the trick.
So these guys are like gods. Like they created their world almost.
I don't know if I would go that far, but sure. They're
Like
practically
they have the
gods.
power to.
Sure. But do we know that they have or not?
No, I'm just saying though that they have a lot of power, it seems.
Yeah.
Twilight fumbled with it awkwardly for a few moments.
It feels different, somehow. This will take us home, just like that?
Not quite. Your device is good, but it's still incredibly primitive. I've locked it onto your home dimension, but it can't make the entire journey in one trip. 10 or 20 more hops should do it.
Wait, how does that even work?
Twilight tilted her head to the side.
There's a function of distance that matters when dimension hopping?
No, of course not. It's...
Sparkle scowled and crossed her arms over her chest.
What do you want me to do? Sit here and explain the entire theory of multidimensional way lines to you?
Yes.
Right, of course I would say that.
Sparkle sighed, then reached into her pocket and pulled out a small metallic cube. She closed her eyes and erupted with violet electricity for a few seconds.
There. Several petabytes of theory. I wrote most of it. Good luck finding something that can actually read it.
Oh no. It's a PDF file.
Oh, God.
That used to be difficult to open. Back in my
Yeah.
day.
Oh, how the times fly.
Twilight took the device, her hands shaking with barely contained glee. A loud boom rumbled in the distance. Sparkle glanced over her shoulder.
Well, I have a war to be getting back to. Do you kids need anything else?
Twilight glanced at Sunset and bit her lip.
How long have you been doing this? The Voyager thing. Do you...
They put another
you noticed.
put another quotation mark in the middle of the sentence.
Do you have any advice for us?
Sparkle barked a short laugh, hollow, and full of unimaginable bitterness.
Huh. I don't know how long it's been anymore.
She took a step forward, firelight reflecting off of her glasses.
First advice when it comes to voyaging? Don't. It all seems like fun and games at first, but you can do anything and go anywhere. Nothing means anything anymore. No matter how powerful you get, there will always be actions you can't undo, friends you can't save, choices that have to be made.
She stepped even closer, eyes burning with intensity, and gripped Twilight's shoulders until the younger girl cried out in pain.
Second piece of advice?
Her head whipped to the side and locked eyes with Sunset.
Whoopsh. Hold on to her. In the entire multiverse, the only constant I've found is Twilight Sparkle and Sunset Shimmer. Always and forever.
All of these people ship them.
Who wouldn't?
The only constant throughout the entire universe is Ross and Wizzy.
I mean, from what we've seen, yeah.
Sparkle took a deep breath, her voice little more than a ragged whisper.
She's the only thing in all of existence that matters.
A shiver.
True that.
This really is your kind of fic. A shiver ran up Sunset's spine.
Your Sunset. Is she...
Sparkle pulled back, her haunted expression replaced with the same arrogant smirk from earlier.
Sunset? She's busy. That's all.
Come on, bring her out. I wanted to voice her.
Yeah, this is disappointing. I hope we get another Sunset.
Then
that you
I
could
get
do
to
it.
imitate your Sunset voice.
Yeah.
Twilight rubbed her shoulder,
Busy doing what?
as if on cue. A distant pillar of light pierced the heavens, shattering the cloud cover and revealing a green sky.
Winning.
Sparkle raised a hand and a luminescent barrier fitted around them just as terrible wind rushed past. Terrible cold. Strong enough to flatten what buildings remained, they watched it pass, safely inside. Eventually, the torment around them died down, and Sparkle lowered the shield.
You kids have fun now. I've gotta go give her a hand.
Sparkle leapt into the air, carried by an unknown power, and quickly vanished into the smoke and dust. They stared at each other in silence for what felt like an eternity. The talisman dinged. They could move on. Twilight looked away.
I don't want to become her.
Sunset took a deep breath, then took Twilight's hand in her own and rested the other on the portal device.
I won't let that happen. We're going to get home. I promise.
And that is the end of that chapter.
What a great chapter.
But will it really be as good as the next one?
Oh, you mean Chapter 11 by OddOneOut?
The animation YouTuber?
Probably not.
Aww.
Although I'm pretty sure he is a brony.
Oh yeah, he was. Imagine.
Apparently OddOneOut has 0 stories.
Oh, so they were... Oh yeah, so they were just part of the writing group that made this?
Or they just
Alright.
deleted everything.
It'd be sad. We would never have any more of these beautiful writings.
Yeah. I guess one way or another we won't, but, you know.
Yeah. After the heat death of the universe. Okay, who's saying this? Sunset?
I mean, it's pretty obvious, I would say. Twilight, I think we should get out of here before the other me decides to do any more, winning.
Me too,
Agreed Twilight.
Hopefully, the next dimension will be one less exciting.
Another series of explosions echoed in the distance. Twilight and Sunset instinctively pressed together. They looked into each other's eyes and then glanced away, blushing.
Yup, definitely time to go.
Twilight quickly said, still hand in hand. The two girls pressed on the talisman. The swirling energies it spat out coalesced into the familiar tear in space-time.
Ready?
Twilight asked. Sunset just shot her friend a stupid grin.
Wait, I need to tie my shoes.
Twilight just shook her head and gave an exasperated sigh. They both broke out into giggles at the dumb joke. And then a meteor hit them in the face because they were taking too long.
Seriously, though, we should go.
Sunset finally got out. She squeezed Twi's hand, and together they stepped through the portal. Once more, the other side of the portal dumped the two girls in a heap. Sunset groaned and began to push herself up to her hands and knees.
Twilight, you really should get started on those calibrations.
Her current situation caused her voice to trail off and her face to heat up. Twilight was lying on her back on the carpeted floor, limbs splayed. Oh God.
Look out.
Sunset's hands were firmly gripping two very prominent protrusions on Twilight's chest. Ugh.
Firmly grasp it.
While her knee was sitting between Twi's legs, pushing her purple skirt up. The realization set in, her turquoise eyes widening, her breath hitching in her throat, her hands involuntarily, possibly voluntary, she wasn't sure, squeezed. Twilight's face grimaced, her eyes fluttering open.
Oof. Yes, I should get on those calibrations.
Twilight's voice also decided to trail off when she noticed Sunset on top of her.
Sunset Shimmer? Why are you on top of me? And why are you grabbing my...
Sunset's hands twitched again. Twi's eyes instantly flushed. Are we reading a dirty fic? This is getting...
This feels more anime than the rest of the fics.
True.
Don't worry, it's still only a T-rated fic, so nothing too bad.
Okay.
Gah.
Sunset's hands jerked away.
Sorry.
She kept repeating as she stood up and helped Twilight to her feet.
It's fine, Sunset. You didn't hurt me.
Twilight said as she smoothed her hair.
Hair?
I expected it to say hair. Twi said as she smoothed her skirt, blush returning to her more manageable level.
It just means that I need to work on the TPT sooner rather than later.
Talisman.
Sunset retorted, her face also cooling down.
Now, where are we?
The two looked around for the first time since arriving. The first thing they noticed was a large heart-shaped bed in the corner of the room. It had obnoxiously pink pillows and a comfortable-looking red velvet blanket. Sunset and Twilight just blinked at it. In fact, the whole room seemed to be themed pink and red. Exploring further, behind a door, they found a rather lavish bathroom with a shower big enough for two. Twilight and Sunset just blinked at that as well. Backtracking to the main room, they opened the other door and found a small kitchen, though it did have plenty of food. Twin growls suddenly came from the room's two occupants. They looked at each other and broke out into giggles.
Sweet Celestia, I'm starving.
So you're seriously going to tell me that's how that Twilight giggles?
Okay, fine. You want a more like that Twilight giggle?
No, I want it canonically said. Yes, that is how that Twilight giggles.
Okay, yeah, that's how that Twilight giggles.
That's so funny. I love it.
Sweet Celestia, I'm starving, said Twilight. How long has it been since we've eaten anything?
She found bread, peanut butter, and bananas, and began making some sandwiches. Oh, that sounds so good right now.
Yeah. Well, except for the bananas. I'm allergic to bananas.
Ah, yeah. You got any banana substitute?
No.
Man,
why would I want that? I hate the way bananas taste.
You do?
They've always made my throat just feel shitty, so I don't know any other way they're supposed to taste.
What about banana candy?
Oh yeah, I guess there is that.
It doesn't really taste like bananas, but Like circus peanuts.
I guess bananas do kind of taste like circus peanuts. I think it was
Sorry.
I think it was when we were on that ship, and Sunlight Fan 10,204 made us some tea. I hope she managed to put out that fire.
Sunset said thoughtfully. Wow, it feels like that happened weeks ago.
It feels like that happened years ago.
True.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So much has happened since then.
You're telling me.
Sunset made her way to the refrigerator and found tons of whipped cream and strawberries inside. She just chuckled and facepalmed.
I'm pretty sure I know where we are now.
Were we? Where were we?
I love that voice. I want to do a voice like that for one of the other characters at some point.
You should.
Twilight asked with a mouthful of peanut butter banana sandwich.
Well,
Sunset began with some trepidation.
I'm fairly certain that this is a love hotel.
Ooh. What is that?
I think it's supposed to be, huh?
Oh, that makes more sense. But I like what I did.
But no, I prefer your version. Whoo. Okay. I think we should eat and clean ourselves up while we're here. No offense, Twi, but you really stink.
Hey! Twilight swallowed. Come on. It's not my fault. We were on a tropical island in 2 separate wars, and we were even in Tartarus for Luna's sake. Not to mention that time we almost and besides, you don't smell any better, Miss Bacon Hair.
Hey, it's
No.
the Roblox insult. Bacon hair.
Oh, yeah.
What was she referencing?
The fact that Sunset's hair looks like bacon?
No, I mean the k part.
Oh, yeah, the KKK?
Yeah, the
Yeah, you
KKK.
don't remember the chapter where they become...
Oh, that does look bad.
They almost kissed in the one chapter.
I didn't get. I thought it was saying killed.
Yeah, I thought it was saying so at first, and then... But then I got too focused on the KKK thing, and then I was like, oh, kissed.
I'm surprised they didn't change that.
Yeah.
Sunset held her hands up in a placating manner and chuckled.
All right, Twilight, you have a point. Tell you what, you eat some more, and I'll go take a shower. Then we can switch, and then get some sleep. Okay?
All right. Sorry for snapping at you.
You should be.
Okay, now I'm taking it back. I'm not sorry. No, I'm still sorry. I guess I'm just frazzled. It's not every day you're accused of bullying one of your best friends, even if it was an alternate universe version of her.
Man, you're still hung up on that?
Oh, Twilight does get hung up on weird things, though, so pretty accurate.
True.
Twilight said glumly. Sunset
do that all
quickly
the time.
walked over and gave her friend a hug, and with warming cheeks, also gave her a quick peck on the cheek.
What was that for?
Twilight said, with hot cheeks of her own. Ooh.
So many cheeks.
Uh-huh.
There are at least 8 of them in this room. Just letting you know I'm always here for you. And as thanks for being a good friend to me,
Sunset pulled away and quickly said,
well, I'm going to go take a shower now.
As Sunset walked away, Twilight's eyes lingered on the retreating front figure's hips. She snapped out of it quickly, though. Oh, I thought that was Sunset saying this at first.
Come on, Sparkle. You can't think about her that way. It's
Man, if it was
against
Sunset
the
saying
Lord's
that
law.
would be very different.
That's true.
Come on, Sparkle. Don't die.
Oh, man. Sorry, that was just too funny. She said to herself.
There's no way she feels the same way.
She dug back into her sandwiches, ravenously eating. Her mind drifted back to Sunset, and she wondered what it would be like to really kiss her.
Don't we all think that?
Kinda.
I wonder.
I'm just like, what would it be like to, kiss a horse?
Yeah.
Those guys got weird mouths. Sunset finished washing and stepped out of the shower, wrapping herself in a handy towel. She had hardly taken a step toward the hairdryer when the bathroom door suddenly opened. Bow chicka wow, revealing Twilight, similarly garbed, except for a large amount of cleavage showing. Oh! Where did that come from?
Twilight? What are you doing? I'm not done in here yet.
Said a startled Sunset.
Wait a minute.
So this isn't the same Twilight.
I'm assuming not.
Is this gonna be you again?
The world's greatest fanfiction detectives strike again.
All right.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do
I guess sure.
it? Okay.
Oh, you're already done with the shower, honey buns? Is that the... I wanted to get in with you.
Said Twilight. She had a dopey look on her face and spoke in a tone that could only be described as love-struck.
I guess I'll just have to settle for that sexy mouth of yours.
Wow, chicka wow.
This is
And
a
with
porno
that-
universe.
Right? What is
Yep,
up with
I'm now
this?
seeing what you're seeing here.
Was it the last chapter that also had No, that was the beginning of this chapter. No, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's just this chapter that's getting a little bit too R-rated.
Whoa, OddOneOut. Calm down.
And with
Yes.
that, Twilight practically launched herself at Sunset's still dripping body. She wrapped her arms tightly around Sunset's ribs.
Honey buns? Wow, Twi. What's gotten into you?
Sunset was cut off as an eager set of purple lips locked with hers. Sunset's eyes widened and she flinched as a purple hand sneaked down her back and grabbed one of Sunset's honey buns through the towel.
And that's officially the 4th kiss we've had on the podcast.
Really? Only that's not...
I have
That's
no
not
idea.
the 4th. We've done so many romance fics.
I have no idea. But we haven't done as many romance fics that have kissing in it. So I have no idea. I don't think it's actually that much.
Even the one with the 2 4-year-olds had them kissing.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they're 8, but yes.
They were 8?
I mean, no one knows their actual ages, but they were 8.
Oh, that actually makes it sort of better. Okay.
Yep.
The very forward Twilight pulled away from her siege on Fort Sunny Lips and slyly said,
What? You grabbed some soft things of mine earlier. I'm just returning the favor.
Maybe this is just that Twilight.
No, I hope not.
Because then you'd have to go back and read all of this.
No. We're not doing that.
Besides, it's your fault for being so bucking sexy all the time.
Imagine it just at the
This
F
might
word.
just be a Twilight that's been sort of hypnotized. You know the
Oh, she ate the food.
the food, of course.
Oh, God.
Oh dear. It is our Twilight. So pretend that was Wizzy reading all of that.
Yeah, let's find out also, because we're still not sure. Then, with renewed vigor, she once more passionately attacked Sunset's mouth. The
My
scientific
God.
side of Sunset's mind was racing. The emotional side was pretty much dead weight at this point.
What in the world could have caused this crazy change in Twi? I'm not acting madly in love towards her, so there must be an outside factor.
She thought desperately. Casting around for a possible culprit, it hit her like falling backwards onto the bathroom floor, which, incidentally, had just happened. Twilight was on her hands and knees over Sunset, with that dopey grin still etched on her face.
The food. Twilight was the only one who ate.
Okay,
Oh
so
man, fan fiction detectives at it again.
I'm surprised that was actually right, because that was, it could have been anything.
Yeah, good job, Wizzy.
Aw, yeah, patting myself on the back.
You deserve that pat, buddy.
Twilight began to bring her face down to Sunset's for another kissing spree when Sunset shot her arms up to grip Twilight's shoulders.
Twilight, listen to me.
Sunset begged.
We're in a love hotel. The food probably has aphrodisiacs in it. You need to snap out of it.
Twilight stopped. She blinked and blinked again. Slowly, a look of horror came over her face. She brought her hands up to cover her beet-red face. Sunset scooted out from under her.
Hey, Twilight, look at me.
Sunset murmured. She reached over and took Twilight's hands in her own. There were tears forming in the corner of Twilight's eyes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Sunset.
It's okay, Twi. I'm not hurt. Well, I guess my, honey buns are a bit sore from us falling over.
Twilight gave a dry snort at that. Sunset
Let's
took a
hear that dry snort. Nice.
There you go. That's the one you get.
In this version of Twilight, that's canonically how she snorts.
Truly.
Dryly.
Sunset took a thumb and wiped the corners of her friend's eyes.
So don't cry. You couldn't have known. Come on.
She stood and helped Twi up. They exited the bathroom and walked to the big heart-shaped bed.
We've both been on an emotional roller coaster since we slept on that beach. Let's get some sleep, all right?
Twilight quietly nodded. She crawled under the blanket.
I still need to dry off. I'll be back in a few minutes, but
Sunset paused.
If you wanted to kiss me so badly, you could have just asked.
Bisexual Sunset! Twilight just groaned. Oh. And that is how that chapter ends.
And that chapter was awkward.
I think it was actually called Chapter 11 Odd One Out. Yo, I just went down to the comments and then I saw Katra and it looked like Ross was commenting.
Whoa. That's not my freaking profile picture on FimFiction.
You just
My
have so many
FimFiction
different
profile
pictures
picture is sunset. Yeah. I
Of
do have
course it's
a
sunset.
lot of Katra profile pictures, specifically on Discord.
She's just such a good character.
She is. She's so great.
Sunset. Are you a...
Oh, sorry, we should
Whoa,
introduce the
whoa,
chapter.
whoa.
I forgot. I'm sorry, Tchernobog.
Yes, this chapter is written by Tchernobog. Or possibly Tchernobog. But I'm gonna say Tchernobog because that's the name of the demon.
That is a nice name for a demon.
It is.
It's Goblin Wrecked. Backwards. No, I summoned him! Sunset, are you asleep?
What the fuck?
Oh, wait, sorry.
Sunset. Are you asleep?
Sunset Shimmer stared at the wall, still curled up in the bed.
Not really.
I can't sleep either.
Twilight murmured. Sunset heard and felt her shift on the bed. Much to their surprise, they discovered that it was a water bed, and every little motion sent ripples everywhere. But that wasn't why Sunset couldn't sleep. As exhausted as she was, her mind couldn't stop going 1,000,000 miles an hour, going over everything they'd seen.
Can't stop thinking?
Twilight giggled quietly.
Yes.
Yeah, you?
Sunset shifted as well, turning to face Twilight. They'd set a pillow, but I just turned 8 years old. I said pillow again. I haven't said that in years.
Wow.
In over a decade. They'd set a pillow between them to give each other a little privacy, but Twilight was currently hugging it, staring at Sunset.
Gosh, pillows make for the best cuddlers.
Excuse me, what about cats?
My cat doesn't like to cuddle me.
Aw, you gotta get a cuddly animal.
He just can't, he doesn't like cuddles.
Yeah, cats are like people that way.
Yeah. Gosh, I love cats.
Yeah.
After all we saw, more like Esau, the rider of the Celestia Code. After all we saw, it'd be weird if I wasn't.
Sunset rolled her eyes and groaned in frustration as her stomach growled.
You really should eat something,
Twilight said, frowning.
Not here. Everything's probably laced with those aphrodisiacs.
She smirked as Twilight's cheeks reddened.
One of us needs to stay in control.
Twilight's just like tied down to the bed, just trying to kiss Sunset.
Oh my.
Twilight nodded into the pillow, her eyes peeking above it as she tried to hide her cheeks.
We can always find a diner or something in the morning.
Sunset shrugged.
but we don't have any money, I think. I didn't actually check our pockets. Do you think the portal magic would give us money? Does it
Yes.
actually think that far?
Twilight gasped.
Does it think at all? It might have some sort of consciousness. Do you...
Twilight,
Sunset interrupted, halting her friend in her tracks.
I think we need to get back home first before we start on that.
She grinned as Twilight nodded sheepishly.
If worse comes to worst, we can just wait until the talisman is ready. Go eat, then portal out. It would be the best eat and run ever.
Sunset.
Twilight frowned.
That's awful. And it's the TPT.
The toilet paper toilet.
Yeah, it's a toilet made out of toilet paper. It falls apart very quickly.
Yeah. Not really the best idea that I had. I think there's a way to make it work, but I haven't figured it out yet.
The answer is resin.
Hey, I did say if worse comes to worst. I'd rather pay, but if we can't, I'd rather eat before we jump again.
Twilight was still frowning, but she slowly nodded. She hugged the pillow tighter, her eyes drifting to the side in thought. Sunset knew Twilight well enough to tell she was holding back.
That's not what's really bugging you, is it?
Twilight's eyes snapped back towards Sunset.
Come on, princess. Spell.
You know you don't need to call me that. You know I like being called mistress.
God damn it, Wizzy.
Twilight murmured. Sunset's response was simply to raise an eyebrow. Twilight sighed.
Oh, it's what that Voyager Twilight said.
Us being Constance, you mean?
No, well, yes, but
But...
she said not to do it. She talked about choices. She talked about being gods.
Twilight hugged the pillow even tighter, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears.
Being a princess is one thing, but a god...
You don't like being a princess?
Sunset asked, shifting closer to Twilight. Twilight shook her head.
I do. I wouldn't change it for the world. I do miss how easygoing my life while I was still a student. But,
She shrugged.
no, I love being the princess of friendship. But a god of a multiverses? I just...
Feel like you'd lose something of yourself?
Twilight's eyes stared into Sunset's.
Yes, exactly.
Sunset took Twilight's hands into her own, squeezing them tightly.
Squeezing them tightly.
Right?
I told you before. I won't let that happen.
Twilight stared at their hands, then back at Sunset's eyes.
I believe you.
Well,
She
you
whispered,
shouldn't.
smiling. Why's that, huh? What's Sunset planning on doing?
Sunset's known for lying. It's like
Okay, not
kind of her whole
anymore.
thing. It's in her name, even.
She got... Oh, no, it's not. Sunset
it's
Shimmer?
not.
Twilight.
You thought about it for like a second before.
Twilight.
All right, put that at the beginning of the episode so that nobody understands what the fuck is going on.
Sunset smiled back, but quickly turned it into a smirk.
Now, I think we should try sleeping for real.
She raised an eyebrow as Twilight nodded slowly, her cheeks reddening.
Twilight?
Can you,
Can I what?
can you hold me?
Sunset blinked, staring at her friend who could apparently no longer look her in the eye. She looked at her hands, still holding Twilight's. Sunset smiled.
Sure.
Aww.
Love a good, friendly cuddle.
Twilight's face brightened. She quickly turned around and scooted closer to Sunset until her back was against Sunset's chest. With only slight hesitation, Sunset wrapped her arms around Twilight's waist, both getting as comfortable as they could. Sunset murmured as they both relaxed, sleep overtaking them quicker than they'd expected.
I think I like being the big spoon.
She felt Twilight giggle quietly.
I'll return the favor later.
Okay.
Sunset yawned, her eyes fluttering closed. A last thought bobbed to the surface of her mind before she drifted off.
Return the favor.
Sunset glanced down the corridor, looking for anyone else, even if they were strangers in a strange land, or a universe, as the case might have been. There was always the risk of running into someone they knew. It was better if they
Man.
were seen by the least people possible, except for the diner patrons.
Story would have
But she was too hungry to care about anyone. Sorry, what was that?
Of course, this story would have a strangers in a strange land reference.
What
Or
is that?
stranger in a strange land. It's a story about like a guy from Mars who comes to Earth and gets a harem or something. I can't really remember. It's a classic.
Oh boy, a harem.
Yeah, it's like the original harem. I'm greatly
Oh.
oversimplifying it, by the way. I'm pretty sure it's like 80,000 pages long or something.
Well, maybe Sunset deserves a harem.
I think Overly Sarcastic Productions did a episode on it. If you want to figure that out more.
Okay. It was better if they were seen by the least people possible, except for the diner patrons, but she was too hungry to care about anyone there.
Coast is clear. You ready?
Yup.
Talisman charged?
TPT is ready.
Sunset rolled her eyes.
Ugh. Okay. Let's go.
She stepped out of the bedroom, Twilight quickly following her out. As she pushed the door shut, she froze as the door opposite their room opened, followed by 2 quick intakes of breath. I guess this one should be me?
Yeah, sure. You go ahead, buddy.
Okay, I don't know who this is, so I'll just do a random voice.
Good. I know who it is, but I'm not gonna. Well, I know who one of them might be. I know who both of them are. It's one of the two. It's just, you continue.
Sunset?
Twile?
Wait, oh, no, I thought that was Sunset saying Twi for some reason, too. Oh, man, I'm lost.
You are so wacky. They've just seen 2 people come out of the
I
different
know.
room, and these 2 people know them.
I know.
That's what's happening.
Is that Sunset?
Oh, Celestia, damn it.
As she and Twilight turned around, Applejack and Rainbow Dash stared back. Sunset grinned sheepishly.
Hey, guys.
Her grin turned to a mortified smile as her stomach rumbled with the fury of a caged beast.
You 2 hungry?
Applejack snapped out of her stupor first. Was this person saying Sunset?
Sure.
Okay.
I could eat, sure. I thought you guys were checking out Everton, though. What are you doing here in a love hotel?
We
came back.
Twilight blurted, her eyes wide in panic.
But you called us from there this morning, and it's a 2-day trip.
And what happened to your hair?
Rainbow asked,
That's a good one, sure.
pointing at Sunset.
Last time I saw you, you had a pixie cut.
Seems like it's someone who's trying to fake a southern accent, and it turned kind of European.
Even I know hair doesn't grow that fast.
Sunset stared at Twilight, who glared back at her, or above her. Sunset fought a grin, figuring she could picture exactly what Twilight was thinking about now. But before she could say anything, her stomach growled again, even louder than before.
It's a long story. Buy us lunch and we'll tell you all about it.
Applejack and Rainbow glanced at each other, unspoken words passing between them before they turned back to Sunset. Applejack nodded.
Deal. Come on. I know a place.
She said, grabbing Rainbow's hand. Twilight fell in with Sunset as they followed the pair, shaking her head. Twilight grinned, leaning closer to Twilight to whisper.
Look at them.
Twilight giggled. Just like at home. Sunset's
Gotta
grin
remember
grew
to
wider.
giggle like that every time moving forward.
Yep,
Because that's canonically true now.
that is how Twilight sounds.
That's the
As Tara
canon.
Strong made her.
Equestria too?
They're still trying to hide it.
I think Dash just doesn't want to look mushy. Twilight laughed.
We're all just waiting for them to ask each other out at CHS. No, I refuse to believe that EQJ, Dash, and Applejack are going out or want to go out together. That's Rarajack territory.
What's EQJ?
EQG, I mean.
What's EQG?
Equestria girls.
Oh. Sunset shook her head.
I think we found another universal constant.
She said, earning a snort from Twilight.
Hey, you two coming?
Applejack said, turning to face them. Rainbow grinned, waggling her eyebrows.
I bet they did it last night. What?
Aw.
Huh?
Aw. I didn't know which one I was going to do.
We'll fiddle around with that.
It'll work.
Rainbow?
Applejack glared.
Sorry about that one.
She said as Rainbow laughed, shrugging helplessly.
You know how she is. Come on, breakfast is my treat. Tell us everything there.
In every dirty detail.
Rainbow?
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 That's how Applejack says it. That was the end of that chapter and the end of this episode.
Yeah, wow, what have we thought of this one so far?
Oh,
With
their
reviews.
relationship is really moving along now.
Moving
Will
through
they
it.
or won't they?
Oh, they will.
They probably will. They have to.
We are pretty close to halfway through this fic.
That's good for us.
Can't wait for that. Can't wait for it to end. Finally.
Finally.
God.
All right.
Man, if we had continued with the episodes, all the way back then, we would have been done by now.
Yeah. We'll be done soon enough.
Yeah.
But until
All right,
then,
well, good stuff. Loved it. Could use a bit less sexy times, though.
it's a little bit uncomfortable when she's talking about her bazoombas and talking about her cheeks and whatnot. I wish they'd used the term bazoombas. That would have been funny.
The Zumbas is a pretty funny word.
Bazoombas that make you go awooga.
Bye.
That was a sudden ending. All right.
Should I hit stop?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that would be a good end.
Yeah, let's stop. Record.
I'm recording.
Beautiful. Mwah. Lovely. Love to hear it. A fantastic Mamma Mia.
What was that?
Hell. What was what?
You turned like
I was just...
you turned like Hollywood director, Italian chef something.
Wizzy. I always do that.
Are you gaslighting
That's
me?
how you know I'm me.
Well, I guess Ross has always been an Italian chef.